Hi, good day wherever you're watching us, and thank you for joining another monthly edition of The Real Talk. The Real Talk, which is spelled REEL, is this group of panelists that comes together from North America to review, of course, both Nollywood and international movies on monthly basis. What we do is we go on a recce and get one outstanding movie unanimously agreed upon as a theme, and we begin to deliberate and dissect it. We look into such a movie, and at the end of the day, we pass our judgment. On this edition, it's not going to be different. In the meantime, I would say we're wishing you all the best of the coming new month because we are still in March. But here we are, and of course, we're ready to show you on this edition of the show. I will not be doing justice to this episode alone. I've got with me in the studio our delectable Queen V, Irene Chukwumer. Thank you so much for being a part of this edition.
Thank you
And
very much. Thank you for
you're
having
welcome.
me,
You're
and
welcome.
happy new
And
month in advance to everyone.
thank you so much. And of course, we also have our Dr. Akonde in the studio. Together, we've agreed we'll be doing justice to this edition of the show. Thank you, Dr. Akonde, for joining us. I think you're which province are you currently?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I'm in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Wow, that's pretty far.
Just for some time. I thought I'd join you back in Toronto.
Thank you so much. Okay. And today we've decided we will be talking about a movie, an exceptional movie we have unanimously agreed to talk about today. For those of you who have not seen the movie, well, this is the movie showing on your screen. It's titled When Love Spins. When Love Spins. And I'm sure we've all watched it, and here we are. We're ready to begin to do justice to it. I would want to start as usual. They'll say ladies first. So let's start with Queen. Queen, you have watched this film put together by veteran actor and film producer Choma Chukwuka. How would you say? Let me start with your overall impression. Don't talk about the strength and weakness yet. Let's look at your overall impression to start with. This is a 2 hours film. It's a whole lot of energy and hard work to put such a film together. So, what's your overall impression to start with?
Oh, well, it's a senior colleague. Sorry, I'm echoing. Is there something somebody has to turn off? I'm echoing.
No, but we can hear you very clearly, though.
Oh, I see. Okay, so for me, it's you already said, a veteran actress, and then she's my senior colleague. So when I want to critique this movie or give my overall impression about this movie, I have to do with some respect because I'm talking about my senior colleague, which is Choma. However, it's for me. The movie is like I already like from the beginning of the movie. Immediately she stepped into the guy's house. I already knew what the end was going to be. The title also gave everything out. When Love Spins, like that's my overall impression. My overall impression is
Like that, Olis impression, especially when you have your reasons, right? From the title of the film, it's really, for me, it's already giving us like when love
yeah. When
spins.
Love
And
Spins,
also, just like you mentioned, I think that should be around probably the fifth scene into the film. She going into a house, and the moment you see she seeing a single guy, I'm not really yet like another man with another lady. You already, envisage. Yeah, for someone like me too, I did see it, and I was looking forward to like have a kind of twist. In as much as they did a lot of twist along the line, trying to bring in other factors, variables, and they were able to mount a bit of personal judgment to say, oh, are you wasting time? You're missing opportunities and everything. Eventually it still landed right on our ties. Okay, let's take Dr. Akonde's holistic impression before we begin to go into the theme and the originality, the cinematography, sound, music, acting, the character development, the chemistry in the movie. We have a lot to talk about it today. Over to you, Dr. Akonde.
Thank you, Mr. Akim. I could see the as the title dictates, when love spins. That's the real meaning of that spinning. Just it implies a dynamic and unpredictable nature. That they want to show to us how love can be. And like you said, me, I saw her too. I know I've watched most of her movie. I could guess what will happen at the end. And they try to manage the scenes, they try their best to let us keep us in a bit suspense. But it's a kind of a narrative around or revolves on love, unpredictability, and then the chaotic nature sometimes we see in kind of relationship, where there be the kind of a twist, turns in an unexpected way, but finally we could see what really happened. It's a good film. It's a kind of reality film, and what is happening in society as well. As for the people that are looking for their spouses, looking for who they are going to marry. We kind of see a lot of journey, a lot of twist and turn journey, but they try to explain it to us. And they say the film is of a great value and a great lesson as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. Akonde there. For me, I would say, I do, just like I did express myself initially, and it wasn't really difficult to know where the story was going to before, we got it. And for me, this is not really a tight end movie. That's what it means. An ability to just see a film title and already have your predictions into it. Well, should we have consolation in the fact that yes, it's a YouTube movie, and it's just for entertainment purpose, probably, not to the high end in terms of trying to, say, oh, this is a very highly rated content. And the other thing I would want to ask Queen, what do you feel about it being overstretched for 2 hours? And as a lady, thank God we have you here. Do you think the key character there wasted time in accepting the reality? Accepting that man. For me, like, what's your take about it? Because for me, these two ties are like the strengths of the movie. Do you think the lady took so much time before she accepted, to say, okay, I was going to marry the man? And the other question will be for Dr. Akonde. But over to you, Queen, first.
From my own point of view, I feel she's supposed to be acting a naive village girl, like a teacher, but she's naive and she's a village girl. And she also just got heartbroken. So from the power dynamic of the first man that broke her heart to this man that she was the cook, that is possible for us to stretch her accepting this man. However, I also feel like there was a point where they were over talking. For example, there was a place where she said, when she met her friend, her very good friend that she hadn't met for 10 years. And she said to her, oh, and she's like, you're looking good. And she said to the lady and said, with this my Namaka dress, like name Mary dress, like a village girl would never say what she's wearing is name Mary. Is somebody else that attributes and say that one that dresses like name Mary, that one that cannot dress. So at that point, I kind of knew that, they overshot it. They didn't think about what they were saying, because you're not the one. Somebody's telling you look good. As a village girl, you should be happy. You're excited. Oh, I look good and everything. I'm not the one that is going to debunk myself and say, with the way I'm looking, with this ugly dress I'm wearing. Oh, you know you're wearing an ugly dress. No, she's not supposed to know. She's a teacher. She's not supposed to say that. So,
Well,
from my point of view, the power dynamics between her boss and the man that she was dating before, of course, it would take time for her to settle for a rich man like this. However, um, with the clothes, like she has feelings. There was a time she was thinking to herself, and then okay, that village girl thing came in and said, "Oh, if he wants me, he will reach out. Don't overthink it. Don't." So I don't know. It's give and take here and there.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really a very good one, and I thank you for opening my eye to that. That's from the feministic angle. The guy she was dating before compared to this, probably she didn't want to get broken again, and she didn't want to take chances considering her age. And just like you said, she has also lost a dear one. So I feel these things could be responsible for she stretching and when we come to think about it again, she actually went into bed with the guy without a consent. So that's another loose end about the weakness of the women. If I would say, if it's right to you. But before we come back to you again, I want to ask Dr. Akonde this question. Looking at the characters in the film now, could you walk us through how well knitted would you rate the theme and the message, as well as the originality of this story?
Firstly, to add to what my colleague Queen just said about the character, Chioma Chukwuka, which is a Egochi in the film, she could have demonstrated a bit that she's a village girl. I've not seen, I couldn't see where you could see that she's a village girl until maybe when they bought that food. When she, hey, this is so expensive. You could have used this not to eat for two. That was the only time. I was expecting somebody that came from a village to still behave. When she got to that place too, she was able to see it from her. Even in her relationship with Frederick, Engineer Marcos, we could have seen something to show that her she's still village there, but she quickly adjusted immediately, like she's had been living with them. But concerning your question, the character like this Frederick, Freddie Leonard, no, they call it Freddie. I really like he's a good actor. Yeah. He really tried that. But if he fits in very well with Chioma, two together acting that roles. They don't just see a lot of things about that the roles, and the two characters. I know Chioma being a producer behind in her mind, she knows the two can perform that role very, very well, so that can let us to know the content of the film, so that can explain to us, and especially the people that are watching, so that they know that what the movie really want to, the message of the movie. At the end, we could get it despite that we already know what it's going to be the end. Though at the end, there's something happened that I will say later, but I don't like the end. I don't like the way the end, how the film ended.
Okay. Yeah. Well, just like these are like this begins to be a common opinion, because it was highly predictable. Probably we didn't see it being nailed well. Now, if based on what you said and what Queen is in line with, now that there is something about a poverty mentality, then there is also the influence of illiteracy. Now, she for that character, I think she was from a very poor background, a struggling person, but she also has a OND because she was planning to go to the university. She was planning she's going to conclude her HND. So
Yes.
for you to say you want to go for your HND, that means you have your OND. So an OND holder for me is not is no longer an illiterate. You know, she has a basic, she can read and write, and she's been able to go beyond the primary, secondary school education. So, for she to have that, to be able to express herself from the perspective of, I am putting on a particular kind of clothes, like she knows she could be better. She's seen other girls in school. So, I feel I do not judge the producer or director to let go that line to say, oh, even in this my Yamaka uniform or whatever she said. And for a lot of other expressions, I think she was, the way I would rate her is she's not an illiterate, but she's a poor lady who has suffered a lot of setback and is trying to just make ends meet herself. And when we go further to look at the condition of the younger brother as well, being a gate man in the city, living in the room at his age, these people, they are, they're pretty poor. And for people watching us, wherever you're watching us, if you have comments to join, please do feel free to put them on our YouTube or the Facebook or wherever you're watching from, so we can share and answer your questions on our own opinions here. Having said that, let's begin to look at the technical and artistic evaluation of this movie. We are 17 minutes into this review already. In terms of the cinematography, in terms of visual style, in terms of sound and music, editing and pacing, Queen, what is your take around it?
Okay, so I'm going to start with costume, because the costuming was very good. Everybody, the man, location, the Chama Chukura herself, her costuming was good. But like I said, I still hold my reservations. If Village Girl doesn't know that what she's wearing is a Village Girl outfit, so for her to point it out, we in the audience know the costumier had done a good job already putting you in that kind of costume. So you don't need to tell us that with this Maria Maka cloth, I'm still looking good. No, we don't need, because to you as a village girl, that's a very good outfit for you. It's one of your best outfits. And that's what you wear to work as a teacher. So that I cancel. The cinematography, I'll just give them 8. Editing was very good, pretty good. Um, Audio was very, very good. The audio was very, very good. I will give them 8 as well. I think for all the technicalities, I will just leave it at 8. It wasn't anything crazy. The writer, there were some lapses here and there, because I don't know why this guy made like, seriously, there's already the hierarchy of the boss and the cook or the house girl, and then you made advances to her, you kissed her, and then you went back trying to go back to her friend and you found out that she has a baby boyfriend who lives with her, and then you come back and accuse her of, like, why did you kiss me? Sorry, excuse me, you are my boss. I wouldn't have been the one to reach out. So they tried to put a lot of suspense. They tried to twist the story, but if you really look at the twist, you catch them in a lot of things, and you can say, why did you do this? Why did you put this here? This didn't have to be here, and all that, because they wanted to twist the story to the end that she took over the relationship. So that's why I still go back to the beginning when I said the film was like, for me, and I still thank you.
Okay, that's a very abridged one there. So, Dr. Konde, let's look at you. Cinematography, visual style, the pace of the film, the editing, the sound, the music. She also mentioned costume. Could you tell us what do you feel about it? This movie titled "When Love Spins."
Firstly, let me talk about the costumes. The costume, the lady, the two ladies in charge of costumes, Grace Onyi and Adama Onochuku, they really tried about the costume. They gave us what it takes to see the reality of the movie, especially the protagonists, and even those Gen Z ladies, great friends of Freddie also the costume. Yeah, I get 9 or 10. They really tried their costume. Those two the costume. The ladies they tried a lot. But cinematography also is okay. I think they tried their best as well. I could see from the beginning even to the end, it was okay. Except during the beginning, I don't know what happened. The first scene, not when Ogechi was running to the scene of the marriage event, but the event itself, the recording. There was a time one of them left the ceremony site, going to the room. I could see the way it was filmed that time. If you could check it, I don't get it very well. They couldn't show the person very well full length. They were only showing us the middle part of the person for some seconds. I could say, yeah, and they don't change it until later, maybe when she was coming back again. That aspect, I could see what happened. Maybe they couldn't get that very well, I must say. But the other aspect, it was okay. It was fine. I like it. Yeah. The other aspect about the editing, I think the producer and the director, I think they try their best also to can be a kind of a film that people will like to watch, and they show those things that people needed to see. The sound is good, but they don't. It's not frequent. Though the place of the music is sound, but I don't think they put a lot of frequent. The one that's frequent that people do that we tell us exactly the same. There's some music, there's some lyrics or music which you play that relate to what is happening in this, especially when they want to think more. It's got the same. The music couldn't correlate very well, like the one we used to do, like one we've already watched here before. And as the technical aspect as well, it's okay. And the writer, I have issue with the writer, which is the writer. If I could remember, story writer is okay. Doris Arioto. Doris, I didn't like the way he ended the movie. I could have, instead of that wasting time with all those GNC ladies that keep on visiting, they could have put some time to let us see Ogechi moving to the house of Freddie. Even heavily pregnant, if they cannot extend to the marriage, I would have loved her to say, at long last. And if they don't do the marriage, they could have done it in a village to create a kind of impression that at last, so I can be the young girls, young ladies around. See, wow, this woman at last she made it. That's why all the trauma, that's why all the disappointment, she made it. I could have loved it in some kind of not just shortly. She got pregnant and then the film ended in that place. For me,
thank you, Dr. Akonde. Now, why we begin to have diverse opinion, which is the beauty of arts. Now, you just mentioned, despite all, I want to ask, what is the all she put into it? She was somebody who would have become homeless. Probably she was left with that choice on a final basis to go squat with the brother. She didn't envisage she would be getting a job ASAP. So for me, it was just all luck upon luck. And right in her face there, the key actor there was not like it was she who needed the help of the man, to become a cook for survival. So I don't know how you begin to add it up to say, oh, despite all, she eventually got it. I'm not talking from the masculine ego side now, but I'm looking at it from a story that for me it was all like an opportunity opened, and she keyed into it because she had all it took. And but on the overall, probably she also dragged before because she, like, I do understand she actually slept with her, and that was why the whole pregnancy issue came up. But she was in a rush for a young man who was also passing through at the Frederick was heartbroken. He had girlfriends who didn't really care, who were materialistic. He had girlfriends who were pilferers, and the guy was facing his own. Okay, but I wouldn't want us to deliberate too much on that aspect. I know Queen wants to say something.
No.
I can see that
No,
question.
because he talked about the writer, and then he was like, despite all, like, seriously, she won a lottery. Because remember, she's already, I think she was in her 40s. She didn't even
42.
have baby. If you
42.
remember, 42. If you remember, the other lady was saying that if she doesn't get married by her birthday, she's going to get somebody to get her pregnant. She's not really interested. Like, at this point, they should be thinking about having babies. So she won a lottery, actually getting pregnant by him. But like you said, the writer has more work to do. The writer didn't, I think the writer made the director's work very difficult. For example, I said I had written something, I know it's so, like, why did initially, where the child had to come and say, is it because my uncle married another woman? Is that why you're leaving the community? Like, she's a teacher. Like, why will that come? That's in a professional setting for a student. And it seemed like a primary school student. So why, I know it's a village setting and everything seems to be everywhere, but it didn't make sense. There were so many places the writer made lapses that it couldn't have been. Then I had a problem with the girl that came, the one he was dating before, the one that came. It was just crazy for me. And Mr. Akim, point of correction, because Mr. Akim said she was too loose, she jumped into his bed. She did not jump into his bed, in the sense that, remember, he bought her some clothes and he wanted to see her wear those clothes. Secondly, her brother was already talking to her. Her brother was already putting it into her head and say, sister, this is our chance. Like, you can change our life like this. So she was already having those things. So I'm talking from a woman's point of view, that we don't just pull our pants anywhere. There has to be a reason for that. So that's why I'm correcting you guys, so you don't go away with that impression. Anyway,
Okay.
so
Okay.
like me, if I were to be in her shoe, I don't know, I'm not a village girl, so I don't know. But if I were to be in her shoe as a village girl, with all those girls coming, different girls, would I have been comfortable for him to sleep with me without condom? I don't know. Because they were different girls. He was changing them like rapper. He even slept with her friend. I don't know.
Yeah, these are my angles to read that. I
Yeah.
I don't see any saint in eventually
Cool.
on the big scale. I didn't see any difference between eventually and the ladies that were coming. Okay, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. Let's let Dr.
Just, I want to add something to Queen's what you said as regard the student that said, maybe because maybe the student couldn't get the real gist very well, because this lady, she met that man at the age of 25 before he traveled 3 years later to Europe or something like that. Europe, he traveled to Europe, and he couldn't get in touch with the lady until when he was 40. He just coming back. You have to do a lot of. Maybe the student doesn't know the trauma what this
No, but
already experienced. It's
he said, are you leaving because my uncle married somebody else? Like,
well, for me, it's a little. Villages are a very it's just a cluster of people who know each other, and information pass through very well. For me, that setting also looks like a secondary school, actually, for somebody who grew up in the village. And well, I do agree that probably that line was kind of very preemptive, and it should have been something maybe the scriptwriter should have been silent over, to just let the people keep And that's why for me I really have problem with the timing. Like I was like 2 hours for this movie.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot. Probably should have gone into part one and part two eventually, but with we knowing the end from the beginning, probably that's why they just let it be the way it is. Okay, guys, let's begin to talk about the actors. For me, I was very much impressed. I'll give it up for the costumier. Probably makeup. I did like Frederick's role. Marcus, call me Marcus, and everything. I think the guy really pulled it through, and we are not expecting anything less from our producer Chioma Chukuka, who played the lead role. See, for me, I feel there was a whole lot of acting. They delivered it. In terms of the character development and the chemistry, how believable were the relationship between the key characters. Let me let you guys have your say on that. What do you think about it?
Do you want me to start?
Ladies
Yes.
first.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So for the characterization and how the cast played out their roles, I think they all did a very, very good job. I only had one problem. There was a girl, the one he's been dating, who left and came back. The one before he now went to meet Chioma. That one, she didn't play her role well. She did not play her role well. She was just extremely meek. So that was the only character I didn't find pleasing. Other than that, every other, even the thief played her role well. Even when they caught her, like she's I guess a kleptomania. And I really like, okay, to give the writer some kudos. I really like that about the writer for him to have put that, because a lot of women have lost their relationship, or a man that wants to marry them, because men tend to set traps for women and keep money, keep this, and see if they come, if they will steal it. So that was a good portion of the. So I give it up to the writer for that. She did a good job with that. Yeah, characterization was good. I think I'll give it 8.5. It was good.
All right, that's all.
Okay. Queen just said something now. It's very, very, very important. That actually I love in the film. In fact, I've seen something like that in real life. As a dad, one of these things is on viral. It's viral of recent. I saw something like that video about a girl that went to a boyfriend's house, and when the guy set the guy up, it's a new guy, and when the guy was sleeping, just said, let me see your bag. Say, my bag? I don't want to see my bag. And your bag? Yes, see, are you know my girlfriend? So the girl took something from the guy. And also I've experienced something like that too. To test some guys who put money on the ground in the night, you see what they do. Some cannot hide it. So the kind of person you are. I love that aspect that she put in the scene. And also, if to talk in general about the characterizations, that guy is cool so much. Frederick, she said tall, handsome, and she played. I mean, he played his part very, very well, honestly. And I just learned from friend that he's now in Hollywood. Is one of the best actors now, reigning actors now in Hollywood. And we know Chioma. I said somebody told me about Chioma that she will never kiss anybody in any of our movies, or even any movie that he was contracted, except this movie. This is the first time she kissed somebody. I don't know if it's true. Somebody told me that that was the first time she kissed in the movie, and she actually played her part very well, being an experienced actress and also the producer. Also, the Gen Z ladies, for me, they tried their best to. They always come and go. And their focus is to go to the bed, to the bedside. And the junior brother also tried his best as well. He tried his best. And what they did? Okay, the other friend of Ogechi. There was a miscommunication between them. I couldn't understand very well when she came back. I couldn't get that aspect very well because they were just arguing about It's it's better to. I couldn't get that aspect very well. Overall, they're okay. It's 8/10. So
Okay. 8/10. It's looking like the average rating we are having for this movie so far so good. For me, I will also want to just add that in terms of the plot structure, we have already been able to fault it, and in terms of the dialogue, we've been able to give some kudos to the scriptwriter, and in terms of the ending, we have all agreed, it should have been exceptional. It should have been different from what we were given. Now, this is a movie that has over 4.8 million views so far in the past few months. It's been released on YouTube. And when we look at the replay value of the film and look at in terms of a return on investment, for me, this is a Nigerian and Nollywood film that 70% of the film was shot in one house there. It had not an extremely aesthetics of cinematography for me. It was just so. And the actors weren't all too scattered. The biggest gathering they had there in that film was just having unbottled crates of Coca-Colas and pops outside the house in a village to signify there was a kind of a fair transaction that was being established, that we did not see the faces of the key characters and the scene, just like we did notice. So for me, I think potentially this is not those films we begin to look at awards for, or festivals for. It's just a film for the purpose of entertainment, and that they have really, it was really, they put in their best for the purpose. It's YouTube. I'm sure if Chukwuka was preparing for something bigger, probably she wouldn't come up with something this lengthy, a 2 hours story that should have, the climax was already foreseen from the first 4 scenes. These are beginning to sound like my own rounding of assessment. For me, the 8 is pretty good for all they've been able to give it. 8/10, and we do appreciate the fact that this is a whole lot of work, and our objective is to say it as it is and without bias. Just like Queen started and said, "Oh, she's a senior colleague." I imagine amidst her busy schedule, she was still able to put that together, building her own YouTube channel, which is is now becoming a trend, a rev for the whole industry. So let's begin to, whatever we have about target audience, replay value, awards potentials, and the ending, let's begin to round off with those perspectives. And let's go back to Queen again. Queen, you have the floor now.
Okay, like I've said in the past, as a critic of a movie, it just makes us better. It's like a teacher. When a teacher teaches others, or when if you're a student and you're teaching your fellow students something, you just get better. So the fact that we're criticizing it makes us better producers, makes us better writers for the ones that write, and then makes us better directors for those that direct. And so the fact that we're criticizing it doesn't mean that the movie is bad. We're just talking to ourselves as well and seeing where things fall apart, and where, if we were to be on that set, what would we have said? Like, okay, how does this end? How will the audience, like, sometimes we have to think for the audience. We have to criticize ourselves before it gets out there. So that's why we're criticizing it. So no hard feelings to anybody that may take hard feelings. For the writer, next time, just look at it again and again and see what you can weed out, to give us a very tight script. I don't think it was a tight script, even though you had some very good things in it. And like I said, the writer made the director's job very hard. Other than that, like you said, I don't know if we're rounding up, but I think it's an 8/10 movie. It's good for entertainment. It's not something I want to go back and watch. It's not something I want to say, "Did you see that movie? You will learn a lot of lessons." It's not something I want to send to my friend or send to my husband and say, "Go and see it. Go and see what if you do this." No, it's just for entertainment.
Okay, thank you so much, Queen V. Oh, all right, Dr. Dewale Akode, let's begin to round off. I want to have your own kind of, final words around the movie, and we're going to call it a day very soon.
Okay, thank you. Holistically, I think it's not bad. Just that there are some lapses that we before discussed. It's a movie to watch as well, but not that of high rate. Especially what you say about the cinematography. They could have given us some not. You can even count about how many scenes you've watched in the movie. You could have given us some other aspect of the other places, other even shots to see other place. Not only most of the whole 80% is in that house. Almost everything that is in that house, the same house of Frederick. No. You should kind of divert to see some things. Maybe they meet somewhere or somewhere. Or even as I said, even to do to go for the wedding in the village again, so that all the young girls that have about a story to know that how at last this auntie will get somebody that is very good, very rich, handsome, despite a disappointment. Something like that. It could have do something like that. So that people will love the film.
You,
8/10. I give you 8/10.
Okay, that's a good
you
one. Yeah,
know,
Queen.
I wish the twist would have been different. I wish the twist wouldn't have been that he married her he came to beg her. I wish it wasn't that. Sometimes it doesn't always have to end like to avoid karma, like people always want. I wish the twist, you remember when he accused her of kissing him, when he said, "Oh, was that why you planned to kiss me and all that?" I wish, yeah, they made love and everything, and then she got pregnant and she got angry. She left. Remember, she had saved some money, and I wish, it was like, oh, she just had her babies for herself. It was a win-win for her. She had the 5 million, then she has her babies for herself. She was going to start farming, you know.
Yeah,
Hello?
we can hear you. We can hear
I
you.
can. I'm trying to. I don't even know. Somebody called me now and
We hear you.
find where I am.
We can
No,
hear
we
you.
hear you for that.
Okay. Yeah, so I see myself. So yeah, I wish that happened. That would have been better for me. I wish that twist was there. It didn't have to end that he came to beg her and marry her at the end. So I just wish that happened.
Okay. Well,
Because
this.
it would have debunked that thing we had at the beginning that when we saw her, she left the village,
Yeah.
became a cook. Oh, you're gonna marry him. We know. We already know the end of the story. Just tell us. I wish it was a different end.
Okay. All right. On behalf of the panelists today, we want to say thank you to everybody who's been a part of the show, and please do keep help us share the either the Facebook link or the YouTube link, and that way we can get more visibility. Our objective is just to add value, and this is what we're happy doing as industry stakeholders. Whatever way we can always come in to motivate, encourage, and build a better, industry. And we have chosen to talk this part, and here we are doing what we'd love to do best. I want to especially take out my time on this wonderful edition in the month of March to say thank you so much to Queen and Dr. Akonde. Without you people, probably, I want to say thank you, and I do sincerely appreciate you people. I have to say this online, apart from whatever way I try to say it behind the scene. Thank you so much for believing in the real talk, and because this is what we were made of. This is what we're born to do, and I'm wishing every one of us all the best in our endeavors in the world of arts, that we're going to continue to be astute and outstanding, and in our engagement. Destination point is here. This is how far we'll be able to go. Let me have your final words, and you have anything for the audience today, Dr. Wale and Queen.
Well, on behalf of the Real Talk, I want to say thank you to all the audience. Thank you so much. And it wasn't so passionate. Trust me, if it was a passionate movie, Mr. Kim, you will see him. If you go and watch our movies we've been so passionate about, he will cut us off and say, okay, we have to jump, we have to go to the next person. But because it's something, like still but we thank you for joining us today. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Akande.
Thank you so much. I'm using this opportunity for all our audience. Thank you so much for being able to enjoy this thing with us, this film, despite our criticism, and which is constructive, and then we have to learn from it. The writers, the producer, though they actually they prop up and change some things as well. Maybe we want to write another film, so that it can be the kind of film people we just welcome and like. But they've tried so much about the character and everything. So everybody keep on growing every day. You cannot have it all every day. Everybody keep on learning every day. So I wish everybody the best. Thank you.
All right. Destination point is there. This is how far we'll be able to go on this wonderful edition. My name remains Akeem Ugumiladi, your host on the Real Talk Show. And on behalf of myself, Extra Media, and the panelists, we say do join us next month in the month of April, and we will bring to you another exciting review to watch. It's goodbye from here. God bless you.